Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. It is the 7th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and it's time for our Sunday Gospel reflection. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you, and from the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. For if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather, love your enemies and do good to them, and lend expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down and overflowing, will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in return be measured out to you." The Gospel of the Lord. So the gospel message and the Christian life has always been countercultural. That was true certainly in the time of the early church when Christianity was illegal, when Christians were persecuted for their faith in Jesus. It's certainly been true in other times and places where the Christian faith was in the minority and was persecuted. It also becomes true in places where the faith has been made too comfortable, where it's been accepted to the extent that it becomes part of the establishment, and then things get watered down. Those who seek to live the radical gospel life become outcasts, become the objects of scorn and sometimes even of persecution. And this is the case even today in parts of the world. It could become the case for us someday. The message that Jesus gives in our gospel this week, which is the continuation from last week, it's the Sermon on the Plain. Last week we heard the Beatitudes, and we'll continue along next week with the next passage. It's a radical message. It's a message that demands a response. It's hard to be lukewarm with this. Either we get it or we don't. And it's a tough message in the face of a culture that is self-absorbed, that is all about individual freedom and personal advantage. Essentially, what Jesus is telling us in this passage is that our lives are not our own. It's not about us. That our lives are meant to be lived for the sake of others. And there are times when that could be particularly difficult and painful, when our lives have to be lived at the service of those who hate and mistreat us, who take advantage of us, who take what is ours and don't give it back, and so on. But this is the essence of the message of this passage, is that our primary concern needs to be the ultimate good of others. That is what loving basically means, is that we will the good of the other. And that comes at great cost, great sacrifice. But it's also the way in which we most live up to our nature. It's the way in which we most reflect the image and likeness of God in us. And so it's the way that will ultimately bring us the greatest fulfillment, even though it requires tremendous sacrifice here and now. So this is the challenge. If we want to call ourselves disciples of Jesus, we have to be willing to take up this radical call of self-giving love. But we do so with the knowledge that the Lord is with us to help us along the way, and that his promise to us is trustworthy, that our reward indeed will be great.